Hey, good morning. This is Eyes That See with Rhonda, and I'm Rhonda. Thanks again for joining me. Today, I feel like I was led to kind of speak about the world we cannot see. There's a spiritual world, and we're born into this physical world, right? We have our physical body. We have we live in a physical world, right? We have walls, hands, we can see everything. But there is a spiritual world that governs this physical world. So there's an unseen world out there that really doesn't get discussed a lot. Especially in Christian churches, you just hear, they just tell you, ooh, the devil's lurking and, be covered in the blood so that you don't have to, so that the devil won't come near you. But the thing is, God is a spirit. We are made in his image. So we have this physical shell. We also have a spirit. We're made, that's who we really are. So our physical being is this outside shell. We have this spirit that lives within us, our soul. That's eternal. That belongs to God. It all belongs to God. It all came from God. It's in the image of God. We were created in his image. So your soul, your spirit lives forever. It's just eternal. It's an eternal peace. That's the true you. So you have this physical shell that we carry for what, if we're lucky, 100 years on this earth? We have maybe reign in this body. I think the average American lifespan is maybe like 75, 80 or something of that nature. So that's it's like nothing compared to eternity. So you got to think about it. If my eternity is determined on how I spend this this life on this earth plane where I can physically see, there's got to be a connection between the physical and the spiritual. How do I make sure that I stay connected so that I have an understanding that I can move forward um, in life and have a chance of salvation and spending my eternal life with my soul when returning back to God to live with God. So, in order to understand what we are, who we are, what our purpose is, which is to serve God and to live for God and to be obedient to God, we need to understand what's going on with this world. And if there's another world that governs this world, I need to know more about the spiritual world stuff. Like, I need to know what's going on. So I know in the Bible, church would reference to putting on the whole armor of God. So I want to go to Ephesians where Ephesians 6, we'll start at Ephesians 6:11, where Paul's speaking and he says, put on the whole armor of God that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Because the devil is very conniving and master. You can't beat him. You can't. You're not going to be smarter, slicker, quicker. He's been doing this since forever. He knows what he's doing. He's very skilled. He's very crafty. The only defense you have is the armor of God, is the covering, is the blood of Christ, is growing in your spirit. So you are able to not only defend yourself, but you can fight the devil off, but you can actually go on the attack, the offensive, and bring down Satan's kingdom with the knowledge of the spiritual world, the spiritual realm, and how it operates, and knowing what your strength is in Christ. So we wrestle not against flesh and blood, it states, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So we're talking about things you don't see and things you never think of. Like, I know I like music. I love music. I've never really thought anything about secular music. I just thought, oh, it's got a beat. I can dance to it. Okay, sometimes it seems like it's getting a little raunchy. I don't like that kind of stuff. But messages come through. That's a way to travel. It kind of goes into your subconscious, into your spirit. So that music is a form, like, it transfers and it can go into your spirit and it can affect your emotions. I know people that can put on a certain song, it'll bring back a memory, so they'll start feeling a certain way. They'll feel either, happy, excited, in love, angry, depressed, sad, rageful. Music can do all of this, and it's very interesting if you know exactly who the devil was. He used to be an angel. And when he was in heaven, he was one of the most like anointed angels. He was, he literally was so beautiful. He had musical instruments in him. So he was ahead of music. So it's very interesting that music and entertainment has this big force in our world, in our society. People basically see entertainment and music as, this is a huge industry. And if I was Satan, what better way to convince or get people that wouldn't willingly want to follow the devil to hell? Wouldn't it be a great way to just put it into everyday life, like music, entertainment, movies? It's entertaining. It's fun. We can just say it's acting. We can just say it's just a song. It's just words. It's just this. But wouldn't it be something if there was more to it than that? What? And the devil's pretty tricky. So wouldn't it be interesting if he could actually put something a little bit more than just the words down, and the notes and the music and the beats? Wouldn't it be something if all of that was intricately done in order to give a message, in order to send a message, in order to send something to you, to work through you, in order to put you in agreement with something? Wouldn't that be something? But that's exactly what's happening. You go into agreement when this music, when these things play, when you're bobbing along, it's basically, I'm listening to the music, I'm agreeing with it. Even if you're like, well, I didn't even buy the album, it's just playing on the radio and I like it. Once you listen, that's why it says guard your eyes, guard your ears. Once it comes in, it's like you're saying, okay, you're invited. And when you invite those, actually it's spirits. So it's not just the music you're listening to, it's not just the notes there. They can incant, I don't know if anybody's familiar with how witches work. I know people have seen like Harry Potter shows and things like that. That stuff is not fake. It's not just for entertainment. There's real sorcery happening. Those are real spells. Real witches exist. These things happen. They put it a lot in the entertainment and they make it so it's like cute and entertaining for people, because they want Christians to adapt to it and grab onto it, so that they just, oh, it's just innocent. Oh, it's just a cute little thing for kids. They're just dressing up. It's fine. That's what they want. They want you to think it's innocent and sweet, and it's just a little bit of harmless magic stuff, little hocus, this, a little bit of that. No big deal. That's what they want. That's again part of this spiritual world we wrestle with. So it's not just things in the everyday life where we physically look at and go, oh, that couldn't happen. That wouldn't be like that. We're dealing with something on a higher level. We're dealing with spiritual wickedness in high places. We're dealing with things outside of what we would normally think would make sense. You have to look a little bit further than that. There's an unseen world where it dominates and rules this physical world we're living in. So you got to kind of at least want to have a bit of an open mind to understand that things aren't just what they seem. You can't just accept things at face value just because somebody's telling you, oh, it's just this, don't worry about it. There might be a little bit more to it than that. I just want to give you guys just an understanding that sometimes there's more to things than just what they seem like. So a lot of times Satan can use these avenues through entertainment, through music, through movies, to get unsuspecting Christians to go in agreement. So when you have this special idol celebrity, or you're paying all this money to go to a concert, and these concerts are getting more and more strange. They're actually looking like rituals. I've even heard they've had some commentary after, I think her name is Taylor Swift. She's a big one. So, and even Beyonce, where people were saying they were hallucinating, they felt dizzy, they felt like they were under, like it wasn't, they weren't being themselves. Some of them passed out. They couldn't remember part of the performance. There's spells being done. There's enchantments being done through these performances. These are high level witches. They're high level, and in order to get that fame, in order to get the celebrity status. It's not just that they were such great performers that they got these record deals and everything's great. there's more to it than that. It's not just you're a wonderful performer here, sign the contract, we got this. No, you have to be able to influence an audience. You have to be able to get young, susceptible people to follow you, to listen to you, to do what you do, to idolize you, to worship you. And if they have a ability through casting spells, and I know they will tell you, I'm a Christian, I'm this. That's what they all would do because that's part of it as well. You don't have to tell the truth because it's an unseen world, and they use a lot of double speak, which means it can mean one thing and then do another. They don't have to. Satan's the father of lies. So if they're worshiping Baphomet, which is the entertainment god of the entertainment industry, that's the one over, that's the weird, like half goat, half man thing that has its hands like, if that's what they are doing, but they don't have to display that to you. They don't have to tell you that. But honestly, the more and more you start seeing some of these award shows and seeing some of these videos, you see that this isn't normal everyday stuff. There's like blood, weird images, upside down pentagrams. It's not just they're being artistic. No, somebody's purposely putting that. Everything has a reason that is put into these videos and these songs. All of it is very purposeful and there's a reason behind it. And it goes back to we are not controlled by it's not just a war in the physical. This is a spiritual war that we're fighting. And if you're born and you're alive, you're in this battle. So whether you want to be or not, you're in the battle. So if you decide I'm not going to fight, well then your side's already been chosen. You're on the side of the world, the mainstream. So let it run its course. The Bible already explains how that's going to end up. But if you choose to recognize that, you know what, there's a lot more to this world than I thought, I want to learn more about how to fight in the spiritual. I want to get stronger. I need the battle armor. I want to go on the offensive and start taking out Satan for everything he's done to me. You start picking up this understanding. You start researching. You start looking and just don't look at face value at things and go, oh, well, that's all it could be because why else? That's just what they do. No, there's a reason. There's a reason for everything. And it's typically, quite honestly, a lot of times once these performers and these artists sell their souls, their job is to take you to hell with them. That's their job. So if they have as many young adoring fans as possible, especially they love young Christians, they'll take you with them as many as they can because they know where they're going. They know what they sold for. They know the price they paid. And now through their music, through following them, through accepting their lifestyle, through being in agreement. And again, like I said, you're in agreement once you buy the articles, attend the shows, listen to the music, watch the movies, you adore their every move. They're your idol. You cry for them more than you cry for your own family or people you actually know in real life. That's idolatry. And you become in agreement. So literally, that's got to be one of the worst reasons to go to hell is because you were busy idol worshiping somebody whose job was, and they'll never know your name, they'll never care. Their job was to take you to hell because they signed their deal. That's got to be a horrible way to go, and that's horrible. So I just wanted to put this out there just so you guys could read a little bit more on the word, research a little bit more. When you start seeing these things on TV, when you start following these, if you're following these secular musicians and things like that, just question when you see something that looks a little bit off, question it, look into it, because there's a lot of information out there now where you can see things aren't just what they seem on the surface. And a lot of it has a deeper meaning. And a lot of times it's not a good meaning. It's pretty sinister. They want to, this is a war. It's a war for your soul. So if I want your soul, I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm not going to tell you how I'm subtly sneaking in and throwing music your way or just innocent little shows or whatever. If I was the devil, I wouldn't tell you nothing. Honestly, I wouldn't want you to know I was even here. I'd make everything cute and adorable and funny, and you would never know I existed, and you would laugh and giggle all the way down to the pit. And that's exactly what Satan does. So just I wanted to just to give you guys a little bit more just look into it, check into Ephesians 6, 11. We do wrestle with spiritual wickedness in high places, and it's everywhere. It's not just in entertainment, not just in movies and music, and it's everywhere. You can find it when you just sit back and look. You'll just start noticing, like, wow, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't quite feel right in my, right to me. Lord, can you give me some understanding? Ask the Lord for discernment, and He can kind of open your eyes to some things as well, which I definitely encourage you to do. Because again, things are not always what they seem. Just look into things. And definitely, as we'll close with Ephesians 13, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. So we want to have that armor on us as we sleep, when we're awake, because the devil, he prowls, he rolls through the earth. He doesn't have a time limit. He doesn't need to sleep. He is on a mission 24/7. So if that is the case, I want to be on that same mission, because I don't want him to catch me slipping. So be prepared, warriors. This is a war. We're building up God's army one step at a time. I just want us to know. So once we know, we're empowered, we can do the research, we can seek God for our answers, and we can follow in truth and get stronger and learn more, so we can grow together and learn and understand. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that. I hope that that made some sense, because I'm just trying to give a little bit more understanding of the spiritual world. There are a lot of different levels, and a lot of different types of entity entities. That's a very interesting. There are some entities out there that they're definitely very interesting. There, people they call them aliens. I'll get into that later, but that's very interesting. But okay, thanks again for joining me on this. You guys, I appreciate all you watching the channel. And if you have any comments or have had any experience or understanding about the spiritual world and you want to share, I definitely love to hear from you. You can definitely comment below, again, and I'd be happy to hear from you. Thanks again. Until next time, guys, have a blessed day and take care. Bye bye.